returning to the land of their forefathers in search of inner peace.
Surrounded by good spirits, our ancestors' spirits, we are not alone.
Today I'm at the last bath, the point of no return for our ancestors. It is emotional. No woman, no cry.
You know why I am African.
Or how you became African. She knows now that this is real.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we get right into this video, I would love to say something, okay? Please, if you know you don't want to cry or get emotional, please send this video to whoever you think want to see it. So guys, the video we're about to watch is of African Americans, okay? It's not easy. It's not easy. And the only way you understand our African American cousins is when you put yourself in their shoes. There you will understand, right? So guys, let's get right into it. And at the end of it, drop your thoughts in the comment section.
Kwame Sakwe, Itupi waswanza. Kwame Sakwe, Itupi waswanza.
We're surrounded by good spirits, our ancestors' spirits, we are not alone. And we were one day, and we were one day. Muye alone to be, and we were one day.
No. Today I'm at the last bath, the point of no return for our ancestors. It is emotional. There are no words to describe it. I'd like to thank Brother Benjamin for bringing us to experience this. This is, when people say this is life-changing, they have no idea what that really means until you come here. Again, thank you, and be blessed.
You're constantly searching for who am I, where do I come from, what does that mean to me? But when you come here, there's this invitation that you're home. Being here sparks this feeling within you that, okay, I see my people, I see who they were before this story or that story was told about them, and now I can relate.
It's about building deeper ties with communities here and just getting a deeper knowledge of what that return actually means from a spiritual sense, from a business sense, from a social standpoint.
I have a sense of belonging here. Once you find your roots and you find your history, you have a sense of confidence knowing that, okay, I'm important, I came from important people, my people fought for me to be here today.
Beyond the return is not just coming and reconnecting, but beyond the return to me means that you're coming back and you're reinvesting. So it's a matter of reinvestment, there's a matter of a new sense of identity, and there's a matter of really harvesting the opportunity that's here to say that in 50, 100, 200 years, I've built a legacy here that not only transformed my community, but now my children, my children's children can come back and show their roots in the true history of not just Ghana, but Africa and beyond.
The show will be here
Saturday.
The show will be here Friday.
It's starting Friday.
And see it.
You look familiar. You don't know me?
You bomb buckler, Rita.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Come here.
Rasta, 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 Rasta.
Don't make me cry, please.
Stop crying.
Oh, brother.
Returning to the land of their forefathers in search of inner peace.
It has its ups and downs, of course, but I love being near the water. I love the peace.
It's taken time for Cicely Williams to adapt to her new life in Ghana, but she was pushed to make the move, saying she no longer felt at home back in the United States.
Right at that time where we had a lot of killings of black males and black females by the police, Trump was just getting into office. So at that time, my family and I decided that we were ready to come back.
The Cape Coast Castle was once one of the main departure points for slaves that were being sent to America. Tens of thousands of Africans left the continent from this very hall.
Right, so if you survived your stay here, this was going to be your last point of call, door of no return.
It's become somewhat of a pilgrimage site as more and more Americans journey here to learn about their history.
You know why I am African.
Or how you became African. She knows now that this is real.
Ghana has labelled 2019 the year of return. The government aims to attract more of the African diaspora, just like Candice and Stephen Williams, who left Baltimore 2 years ago. A radical change, they've even adopted new names.
Welcome back home. Thank you. What's your local name? My local name is Kojo. I'm Kofi.
The market organiser is thrilled to see that Americans are moving here.
They've been out of the continent for a very long time. They've acquired a lot of knowledge. Africans still need a lot of knowledge to develop it. Yeah, we've seen a lot, so we are happy. And I, for one, am happy.
But despite his warm welcome, integrating into Ghanaian society hasn't been as straightforward as they'd expected.
You know, because of our complexion or our accent, some people refer to us as white. You know, they don't know what a black American is.
And despite being swamped in red tape and the trouble of finding a job, the former instructor has no regrets.
You can see my hair was a lot shorter then.
Their children and grandchildren have all stayed behind.
There's no better place to be for me than on the land of my origin.
Why?
Because I am an African woman.
They've even done a DNA test to find out more about their African ancestry.
I believe this one is yours.
The couple are planning on starting an organisation to help other African Americans who want to make the move to Ghana. Nathania took the leap over 20 years ago when he moved here from New York.
This place, we started it in around 1995 or thereabout, and there was nothing but coconut trees and high grass here.
He opened this hotel near the Cape Coast Castle. He's seen generations of African Americans settle here and says misconceptions about the continent are almost a thing of the past.
African Americans are now opening up to the reality that Africa is not a land filled with jungles and people living in tree houses, and you know, people seeing that there's real development and growth and opportunity going on in Africa.
Some are looking to reconnect with their past, while others seek new opportunities. Several thousands of African Americans have already made the move, and the trend is showing no sign of slowing down.
The most beautiful thing about this video is the fact that when they come, okay, they try to soak themselves into our culture by trying so many things, and that's what made them lovable by us, all right? Because when you visit a place for the first time, what will make the people of that soil like you more is when you accept them and accept everything you see them doing, especially when you try to do that same thing, you know. So in their own situation, these are things they've never done. So when they come to Africa, they try to do it, yeah, for the first time. Most of them is their first time doing it. So guys, let's see their experience.
Ghana's KFC might be able to compete with America's Popeyes. Hold on. They give you jollof rice, fam.
You said what?
You see, it's almost gone. I don't know, y'all. That chicken spicy. It got a nice crunch to it. That rice is hitting because it's like a jollof rice. I don't know. Popeyes, y'all need to work on y'all shit. I never thought I would want KFC.
Hey y'all, what's going on? It's April Prayer, criminal defense attorney from Chicago, and I'm still in Ghana. I'm in Accra, and I am actually at the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum, and we came here the other day to check it out, and we are here today to shop. But I wanted to tell y'all real quick, people are asking me about, you know, basically American culture versus Ghanaian culture and their views on us. And what I've found really shocking is that they really extol and uplift our black leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois, and Malcolm X, and even Marcus Garvey, and they even attribute them to helping them with their independence, which they didn't gain until 1957. But what is odd to me is they do not teach in schools, Ghanaian schools, anything about the transatlantic slave trade. And I was like, how does one reconcile the other? Like, did we swim across the ocean? How did black folks end up, you know, meaning black Americans, end up in the United States? It's like they've forgotten us. And for me, that was actually a devastating blow when we first talked about it at the law school, and then we talked about it again when we went to Elmina Castle, which are the slave dungeons, and we talked about it again. And Ghanaian schools do not teach about it. It's literally like we went poof and just disappeared off of the continent. And I have deduced, or I've actually been told by some of our tour guides, is because Ghanaians do not want to face the fact that their ancestors played a role in selling us off. That some of them were given money, some of them were given power, some obviously were political prisoners that they had captured from other lands and then didn't mind selling elsewhere, but some were their own people, and that's the part that they just don't seem like they're willing to address. But then at the same time, they just ignore that part of their history and then fast forward and say, oh, but we love W.E.B. Du Bois and we love all these black American leaders, these African American leaders, but don't explain at all how they got to be African Americans. Very perplexing. But anyway, I'll talk more about it, but we are here. The house is amazing. And for anybody who's coming to Ghana, this is a must see. I won't go back inside because we did that the other day, but this is it in the background. This is actually his tomb or his memorial next to it. I didn't film in there. I thought that was disrespectful. Some people did, and it's amazing. It's an amazing site. They have awesome tour guides, so definitely if you're in Ghana, check it all out. Peace.
When you fail, you can bounce back and try again, because it's not about failing and giving up. It's about bouncing back and trying again. And in Ghana, because of the exchange rate, it's much cheaper to fail here. Yeah, much.
Absolutely. Our dollar goes so far here. It goes a lot further than it does in America. So I agree with that. It's cheaper to fail and you can get up and try again and figure out what works. But we also talked about how taking our black dollar that we spend in our black communities and it goes right back out of the black community before we can blink. Bringing that here to Ghana instead and bringing that here to Africa. You know, if it's not Ghana for you, or maybe Kenya, maybe Nigeria, but bringing that black dollar to Africa and letting it spread here, what do you think that would look like for the continent in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, it would be crazy. You know, so we should really consider that opportunity to invest here and invest in such a way that we're sensitive to the culture.
I will not forget my returning subscribers. Thank you so much for always coming back for your girl. I really appreciate it. And if this is your first time on this channel and you like what you see, subscribe to the channel already, and also do it to press the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop another video. Don't you want to be the first to get notified? Do that already, guys.